Circle. They're the music tonight from Live Nation's Avalon Theater, and you'll see a performance from them momentarily. They're back out with some tour dates right now. But I did have the rare chance to sit down with one of my favorite frontmen in music, Maynard Keenan. Of course, he's in Tool, Perfect Circle, music producer, very good at a lot of things, including now, as I understand, winemaking, which I was really fascinated in. Here's our time at the W Hotel, Hollywood. And I'm just a few minutes away from doing the interview with Maynard Keenan. And as you know, if you're a fan of his, I mean, this guy does not do a lot of these interviews. I'm feeling a little nervous. He just walked in the room. You know, he's not exactly a people person, as he admits. I'm hoping it goes well. I'm super psyched you're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is great. You brought some wine. I don't know where to begin.
For me, are you gonna have some too?
Oh, yeah.
Where's your bottle?
Absolutely. This endeavor that you set out on almost 10 years ago now in the high desert of Arizona, a highly unlikely place for a vineyard to exist, and the complexity of what this new endeavor in your life represents. Why Arizona? I mean, even if you do get into the winemaking.
That's where I live.
But you put like two strikes were just so against you.
I'll see you again.
So I've lived there since '95. So just looking at the hills there, I recognized in that spot what people throughout history that spent any time there recognizes, that it was perfect for that kind of agriculture.
But you have to deal with what in the high desert? What are your problems? People think heat because it's Arizona, but actually the cold is worse, right?
Cold, snow, politics.
Did you have like a really amazing glass of wine some night at dinner and it just clicked and you went like, I really do want to get into the winemaking business? And when I mean winemaking business for our audience, I'm not talking about, you know, a rock star or celebrity or somebody who's well known who attaches themselves to a pre-existing project. I mean, you're in the dirt. You built this place from the ground up. Where was that beginning? Was there a moment?
It's you know, being on tour and seeing the accountants drink the good stuff while we're stuck with Bud Light, and you know, wondering what's in the glass, and then actually tasting it, it just struck a nerve, and then I was interested. Just the complexity within a grape is so far beyond other fruits.
One of the great scenes in this documentary, I think people will enjoy, is James Suckling, who probably tastes 6,000 glasses of wine in a year. He's like the guy. Happens to be a friend of yours also. Flies into Arizona to come and have a tasting with you and Eric. And he drinks your Judith, which is named after your mother, and said that the glass that he had from your sort of unlikely vineyard, he compared it to the type of taste that reminds me of, you know, a wine in Sicily. Like, finally, you guys do it, and it's your wine, and this is your project. That must have been really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see what it tastes like. Classic cab grown at almost 5,000 feet.
Whoa. Finally. All the bull used to make from California.
Thanks, James. From the beginning, I wanted to make something that comes from that spot, not necessarily something that's just palatable that you can mass market.
Pucifer.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about Pucifer, except it's so much fun to watch.
Hildy. I was perusing the interweb the other day in search of new and interesting forms of pornography, and I came across something very interesting that's juxtaposed against Aunt Mama's missionary position on alcohol.
We're trying to figure out a way to do the episodes now. We're putting together scripts and little things for next year. Now we've shot some stuff. We think we can take pieces of it and do stuff with it.
Tell me a little bit about this particular.
This is a Sangiovese Grosso from southern Arizona. If you're familiar with Brunello di Montalcino,
I'm not.
You're not an Italian wine drinker?
I drink Layer Cake. It's $12.99, but it actually is very good. It has a screw top, which I've told is back in vogue. It's not a cork-based wine.
I can argue that one.
Screw tops are...
Yeah.
No?
No.
I should pull a cork out, right?
Cork.
You want to smell your wine because the relationship between your nasal passage and your palate actually will play a part in how your brain perceives this to taste.
Correct.
Correct?
Yeah, tasting, generally speaking, is actually 80 to 90% smelling.
How much do you get to tour now? I know that Perfect Circle is doing dates, that's why you're here. It's also the music tonight on the show, which we're thrilled for. How is this tour going for you?
We've only done 4 shows. It's a lot to bite off. The first album, the goal when I was putting some of those vocals and songs together was to push the envelope on what I was capable of. So, so at the end of the, when you're done with the album, you're actually touring it, you're realizing, wow, I went a little too far on those. I can't actually do those live.
The funny thing is
Now we're 10 years later, and it's like, woo, what did I do?
But I'm more than just a little curious how you planning to go about making your amends.
Some of these songs I could barely sing them 10 years ago, let alone now.
right.
So the art is in, of course, presenting, putting your best foot forward, and not bothering people with what you can't do. You want to do what you can to make sure that the songs come off like they are. But to be honest, this is a tough thing to do. I'm not doing very well at it.
Why? What are you talking about? You've done this.
My throat is as toast. It's not doing well.
Right, because you're older now, or because
Yeah,
of the
absolutely.
wine drinking? You've been a wine
We
drunk
will
for
never,
10 years.
we will never admit that.
Maynard, again, I can't thank you enough for your time. This was a real treat. Thank you. Congratulations on Caduceus.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Who's got a cigar?
And there you have it. Blood into Wine is a documentary that you can check out right now. It's very cool hanging out with Maynard. In fact, you'll see him again when he performs with his great band, A Perfect Circle, coming up in just a few minutes. We'll take you to, ooh, that's the sound of ice in a bar. I love that sound. We'll take you to Live Nation's Avalon Theater. When we get